Sorry.
Okay, so welcome to card night, a class that I'm hoping to do on a monthly basis. We'll see how it goes, but I figured, you know what, we need some love cards. Some of us might be in need of Valentine's Day cards, but even if we didn't, we can convert them into love for like showers or weddings or just because. I'm hoping that everyone actually does have some stamps in their stash. I know many of you do. You guys all had stamped before, so I'm not too sure how this plays out, but I am featuring that country bouquet stamp set and punch. But don't worry, like everything that you're going to kind of need from the punch is punched for you. So if you don't have this bundle, not a big deal. If you do have the bundle though, pull out the stamp sets if you want to use what I'm using, but otherwise you may want to use some greetings or some other things from your own stash to kind of add on to your Valentine's Day cards. Inside each kit, I gave you guys a quarter, well, not quite a quarter, but almost a quarter of a pack of the designer series paper that goes with the collection. So you have 2 sheets of each of the designs that are in the 12 by 12 paper pack. It's just that I cut them down to be card front sizes for you, which is 5.25, pardon me, 5.5 by 4.25 inches. So those of you who purchased the kit will have all of that in your supplies. And as we go through, we're going to trim this down to what we need. So just make sure you have your paper trimmer handy because we will be trimming this as well as cutting some things out. So have your paper snips handy as well. What else? So digital. So those folks who are doing the digital only, you'll have all the posts in the Facebook group. Afterwards, I'll also post another door prize thing so that you can participate. We're going to play a little game on live here. But again, you can catch up with another door prize that we'll do in the group after the card class. Now, I wanted to try and do a PDF. So I was attempting to do this based on Make It Monday stuff. I think I even posted that, hey, I'm working on a tutorial. I literally had 2 things left to do in my 2-page tutorial from Make It Monday. It was beautiful. It was going to be my template to put this class into, and I literally lost it all. I sat here this morning and I cried because I spent 3 hours on it. I duplicated an existing template. I duplicated what I already had. I saved it with the new name and everything, but I don't know what it is. I've got some glitch on my computer where it duplicates everything. And so it's like I probably saved it, but I didn't save it. And so I would have had to go in and do it again because when I closed it and didn't save it, because the page I was on had it was a blank page that I copied and pasted something on. And I said, no, don't save, but it got rid of my template that I was creating, not the page I was physically on. I had Tom do a backup to yesterday. We tried everything. And I'm sorry, I was just like, I cannot redo this right now. It was 3 hours of my life. I just can't get back now. And it was so beautiful. Anyway, so there's my little whine, but I am working towards the next one to try and make sure that we do have a template in place that I can kind of give to post so that you as the digital people will have a print off. So for this particular round, you're going to have to rely on the video and the step-by-step for each of the cards to recreate the cards yourself. And if you have any questions though about measurements or pieces, let me know. I had Riley take a picture of all the little pieces of the card kits and we posted them in the group so that you can see each card and all the pieces that it entails. I put the measurements for the card bases in there, but you still might have questions on other pieces. So again, don't like, feel free to message me or on Messenger or on text, and I'm happy to answer any questions when it comes to pieces or sizes. But I'll show you all the different things that we're using to put them together. Okay, so we're going to start off. I figured why not with the bonus card. You know, we're going to start off hard so that it just gets easier from here. I feel like you guys are all fresh. You're not tired out yet, so let's do something that's just a little more complex. And it's not necessarily featuring this set, but it is. I just figured my anniversary is actually tomorrow. Tomorrow is my stamp anniversary, 19 years with Stampin' Up. Can you believe that? I was like, holy cow. Riley was 1. I was actually with a different direct selling company and I used to carry him around to everything, all the meetings. And anyways, I remember signing up for Stampin' Up and it was just so nice because I no longer had to carry him to all these different meetings I had to go to because I got to do this all at home. Okay, so I'm just going to change my camera down low so you can actually see what it is that we're working on. I'm going to take that blur off though. Okay. I wanted something a little interactive, a little shabby chic. I'm really getting back to my roots. So the whole shabbiness thing is what attracted me to stamping and scrapbooking, or to keep at it actually, because I was doing it for years and years before I was even with Stampin' Up. But once I found Stampin' Up, I love the quality of their product and stuff. So I just had to stay. So this was the card I decided to come up with. I'll just flip through it again. This is your standard card base that we're going to flip open, but then we want a little bit more interaction. So we're flipping open a 4x8 card, and then of course have some other great places to stamp and do different things. This card also comes out, so you can always add something else in here or use it as a pocket for a gift card or something else. I just thought it was something cute. I mean, it almost is reminding me of baby colors too. So if you've got a baby shower coming up, you can convert it into that. Whatever you might want to turn it into. I actually don't own a happy anniversary stamp. So I couldn't actually do that. But I thought, you know what, just wanted to say, so if you have this country love stamp, then you can put whatever other greeting you want. The stamp set that I used for here is the Conversation Bubbles stamp set. So again, you may or you may not have this stamp set, but I know that you probably have something. You have something in your stash. And if you don't, you know what? Where this says yay, you're just going to hand print something. Like it doesn't have to actually be a stamp. We can actually use our handwriting. So this is going to be the first card. Then for this friend, I actually used that new stamp set. It's the one with all of the, I think it's called Family. It's the one with all the family names in it. It's in the mini catalog right now. I don't have it near. Oh, just wait. It's called Best Family. Here we go. That's what I used to kind of do this. And that's also where I found the congratulations. But again, you can use whatever stamps that you want. You can go back and add those pieces after. But let's just quickly walk through this particular one. So for this, I didn't give you the front paper. Oh, Sue, I missed the most important part. You have all the pieces but paper. Okay, but that's okay. You know what, you guys, in your paper stash, you have lots and lots of paper. So let me see which paper. See, there had to be something I forgot. So let me just go through these pieces of paper. Now, something I want to point out for you guys, and maybe while you're going through your paper, you can do this with me too, is the designs are going in different directions. So I did half the package so that the designs are going 5.5 inches wide. And then I also cut them, or I should have cut them. Don't go by my paper because these were my old ones. I should have also cut them so that the design went 4.25. Mine's not showing it properly, but yours should be, because I made sure to separate them so that you could have all the designs going both directions. Okay. So just kind of sort those out because that'll just help when we go to do this card. And you see, there's this paper. So this is going to work. This is going to work just fine. Now I just want to make sure I'm not using it anywhere else. No. So this heart paper, we're going to use the one that's going the 5.5 inch direction.
Patricia, which was the one that you used? Where's it? Where is that from? What is it from?
This is from the gingham pack.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it's from the Country Gingham 6x6. But that's okay. We can use that one. The other petal pink we're going to be using, so I don't want you guys using that. But at least you've got them sorted so that you have the patterns going the right way. So that when we're talking, we can be like, hey, use this. I had to use my scraps, so unfortunately mine aren't in all the pretty directions as your guys's are. But I did pay attention to that, cutting that paper. Okay, so
yours is the gingham.
What's that?
That's the gingham one.
Yes, this is from the gingham, the Country Love, whatever it was I just said. I don't even know where I put it. Oh, here it is. Yes, the Country Gingham, and it's got blue on one side and the petal pink are on the other. And there's 2 different ginghams in that pack. But it doesn't matter which one. You can, the one I use is the larger one. This one is the smaller one, but the
Oh.
hearts work just as nice. So again, depending on what you're going to use this for, might depend on which you pull out. But I will use what's on the card sample so I don't confuse people. Although I've already confused you, let me make one using the same one you guys are. I'm confusing myself now. Okay, so what we're going to start is you're going to go ahead. Now you're going to trim this down. So again, this is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I trimmed this to be 1/4 of an inch smaller. So this is going to be trimmed down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then you can go ahead. Oh no, you see, I had to give you guys this because I had to punch it out.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because I know. So I've just royally messed up.
Which punch is that though, Trisha? Because
That's the double.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, I've
this
got
is-
that one. I've got
This
that
is
one.
part of the double punch.
Yeah.
So this is the punch I'm using. Now, you know what? You can always just cover it up as is, because no matter what, we're adhering this first and then punching it out afterwards. Now, the punch out was just like for that extra interactive layer. If you don't have it, you know what? I'll do this one without it just so that you can see how we can move it over. Just trying to find my adhesive here. Keep all your little scraps. I don't know if you saw, but I keep my 6x6 paper inside a Ziploc. IKEA actually has Ziplocs that fit perfectly. And I tuck all the scraps in them for the 6x6. Or if it's 12x12 paper, I just put all the scraps directly in with those. But you're going to just put that over top. And no matter what, if you've got the punch, you can go ahead and just slide that all the way in. And what I do is just line this up to the far right and pushed it all the way in. And that's where I just punch the heart out directly. But if you don't have the punch, that's okay too. You know, we're gonna, I was like, we got to make it work, but you would have to have 2 hearts in order to make that work. Jennifer, I don't suppose you have some sort of punch there, do you? A heart-shaped punch of some sort? I'm pretty sure all the other ladies probably do.
No, I don't have anything. I actually just had the kit out. I didn't even bring my paper cutter out. So I'm just gonna make notes.
Okay, no, sounds good. Because I can always make a little list of different things like you find that you might need from this card, and I can always just put them in a little envelope and mail them to you. And then that way you can finish it afterwards.
Okay.
And that goes for everyone. If anyone wants me to cut out little pieces for you guys or redo the sheet, let me know. But to do this card, I was going to try and do it without punching, but I have to do it with punching. Otherwise, it's not going to work on the other side to get the whole interactive layer. But you're just going to put that in and you're going to punch. Okay, and we're not actually using this particular one for anything, so you can just put that aside. Now what you're going to do is you're going to need to trim down some other piece of paper. And we're going to trim that down to 1 3/4 by 5 1/2. Actually, it's like 5 3/8. But do it to 5 1/2, and you can always trim it over the edge because that's easy to do. Now again, oh, I didn't look to see what was on the other side of that paper. Okay, so that's okay. We're going to use that paper. So the other sheet that you have of this heart paper, you're going to trim off 1 inch by 5 1/2 inches because we need that for the next card. Actually 1 1/4 inch if you haven't cut that yet. 1 1/4 inch. Here it is right here. because I want to save that for the other card. That's all that we're using this color paper for. So then the rest I can use for the next part. So what did I say that measurement was? That was 1 3/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to trim that down to 1 3/4. And that's going to leave me with this. So I'm going to have 1 strip left of this, which is good. Just add that to your pile of designer series paper. Hopefully we don't need it. That'll just be a scrap that you get to use for another project. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some tear and tape. Pretend I'm using tear and tape. If you have tear and tape, you can use it. Seal will work good too. But my daughter was making Valentine crafts with her friend because she wanted to send her boyfriend something. So they came and cleaned out all my tear and tape. So you're just gonna tape it along the bottom and then tape along the sides, not the top, so that you can make a little pocket. And all I'm gonna do is just line that up to the bottom of the card, like so. Okay, and then that's our little pocket. Now the idea is with the tear and tape, it is a little bit stronger than the adhesive I've used, but it's also going to set the longer it sits. Like I don't recommend sticking a gift card or something in there right now, but if you use the thicker adhesive, that should last. Okay. So now we've got that part done. Now we want to take the other card that's in our kit. We've got a couple pieces here actually. So we're going to pull out the 4 by 8. Okay. And that's what's just going to tuck into there like so. Now, okay, apparently I cut them too big. Of course I did. But that's okay. It's better too big than too small. So we're going to want to trim off 1/4 inch off of that. So this should actually be 3 3/4 squared. So I'm going to just trim that down right here. I'm folding it closed, cutting it down to 3 3/4. And then I'm going to trim it 3 3/4 the other direction. So I guess I need to go update that. So it should be 3 3/4 by 7.5 inches long. Now it'll fit nicely in that pocket. There we go, without going over. Okay. So what you're going to do next is now we're going to just decorate this card. So we want to add a little bit of ink and fun stuff to this. So I'm using a blending brush. Now you can either use a big one or a small one. Just gotta grab my brushes. A small one would be ideal. Unfortunately, I'd already used all my small ones, so I only have a nice big one. And I'm using Petal Pink with that. And I'm gonna just give it a little rub directly in my ink pad. So it's just the little brush directly on. I'm tapping off. And then you're gonna just rub in the center, start in the center, because in case you have a glob of ink, it's better to be darker in the center because our heart is gonna cover it. And then you're just gonna gradually blend out. And I'm just gonna do that a couple of times. Like so. I just love it. Now, I don't think I ended up putting Wink Stella on there, but you know what? Wink Stella is one of those things that should just be in your toolkit because it's just awesome. And all I'm going to do is splatter using the brush tip and the lid to put some glitter splatter all over the front of this little card. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but honestly, it is coming out. And I'll just put it up there. I don't know if you can see, but there's some little glimmer and shimmer. So while that's settling in, we are going to also grab our Country Love stamp set. Or sorry, Country Bouquet. I keep calling it Country Love, but it's Country Bouquet. All my pieces are everywhere. I want to find the little hearts. I just love this because it's got so many different pieces, but it's not the solid hearts. I'm looking for the lined hearts. And that's what I'm going to use with the petal pink. Now, again, if you don't have all the supplies there, that's okay, because this is like totally extra. You don't have to have it. It's just what kind of gives it the extra little look. So I'm going to stamp once and then stamp off. So I'm going to stamp once and then stamp off. I'm just going to kind of do this around where the heart is likely to be. Just kind of guesstimating. Like so. I like lots of hearts. Okay. And then you can go ahead and mount with your stamp and seal the heart. Now, how you're going to do that though is you're going to tuck your little card right back in here because you want it in the pocket, and be able to close this because you want it to fit directly in the same spot as the heart that's cut out on the front. Now, just so that you know, I don't have them handy here, but we ran these through, Sue ran these through the cut and emboss machine using the little die that's part of the butterfly die set. This was the Butterfly Brilliance bundle. Do you guys remember? It went with, I don't have the dies handy, but the stamp set is this one with all the pretty butterflies. So those dies are what we use to kind of make that a little more rugged and shabby. So you're just going to go ahead and mount that with stamp and seal directly back into where we punched out that heart. You might have to kind of maneuver it a little bit to get it through the hole, but then you'll know that it's at least in the right spot, right? How you guys making out so far?
What is the size of that paper, Trisha, that you're putting inside there? I missed that.
Yeah, for sure. So the paper that's in your kit is measured to 4 by 8. You're going to trim that down to 3 3/4 by 7.5. So that it's 3 3/4 squared.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have some cutouts for you guys from the Conversation bubble dies. So that's the one with all these super cute bubbles, word bubbles. There's all different sizes and kinds. So yours might look slightly different than mine because we cut out a few different sizes at a time. There's also these little tiny hearts, which are cute. So that's where the little dies came from. And all you're going to do is just use your Tombow or fine tip glue pen or whatever adhesive you have to that. And then you're going to just randomly put it down on your project. Okay, like so. Okay, and then you should have another little piece. I think there's a solid piece that should be white. Do you have a solid piece that's white, Sue, or are they all just these ones? We were contemplating back and forth, knowing that some of you may not have the stamp set, because on this one, I had stamped out a solid one and then with mint macaron, stamped the hearts just to add some cuteness. And if you don't have this, that's okay. If you've got just the stamp set, you can stamp directly onto the paper.
No, there's a solid that's white.
Okay, or
Yeah.
use the solid that's white and stamp anything you want on it.
This little one.
And so for this, I will just stamp directly with my stamp set in mint macaron. So this is the cute little hearts I was talking about, just because hearts could mean anything. I need to get down to my basement again and find all my blocks because I need to find ones that more appropriately fit the size of the stamp, because if you use a block that's too big, it works, but there's too much room for error to squish it in and get ink in places where you don't want it. So I'm just going to tap, tap, tap that in mint macaron. And I'm just going to add that kind of beside the word bubble that I've just mounted. Now, again, if you've got a word bubble that you can stamp on or write on, because don't forget, you don't have to stamp, you can just write some cute message because your printing works as well. You can do that. And then somewhere in your little kit, now it's going to be hard to find, you have an itty bitty tiny heart. It's in petal pink, but we have made it easy, or somewhat easy. We actually cut that out for you, or Sue cut that out for you. Sue, we're just going to say we. On adhesive sheets. So it's a sticker. You can just peel and stick. You don't have to worry about finding your glue dots or anything for that one, because we've done that for you. Although you could use a glue dot because it would pop it up a little bit, but I think that that works just as cute. I'll slow down a little bit. Are you guys far behind or just a little bit catching up?
I can't seem to find my ink.
Which one are you looking for, Cheryl?
Petal pink.
I have it still.
I know. But I'm kind of like, I call it,
Sorry.
I'm fudging.
Yeah, you guys didn't get together. What color are you using instead? Blushing Bride?
Yeah, I tried using just the markers, but it didn't work.
Yeah, Blushing Bride in the ink would work just if you rub it off a whole lot, right? To get that.
Yeah,
liquid
that's what I
base.
did.
Yeah.
It's close.
Okay.
What
good.
green did you use?
I have mint macaron.
Oh, is that what that is? I have that too, I think.
Okay.
It's actually mine.
Oh, those are too big.
So while you guys are getting caught up there, the next is we're going to seal the little envelopes. So these are little 3x3 envelopes. Super cute for Valentine's Day. I always seem to pull them out this time of year, but I'm just going to seal it closed, directly shut, because we're going to use this as a pocket. And this is where you're going to pull out your paper trimmer. And you're just going to trim off like 1/8 of an inch from the top that we just sealed. And now you've got a little pocket. Okay. I didn't show off that pocket very good, but you get the drift. So this is where you're going to get to add your mint macaron piece into here. It's going to be super cute. You should have one mint macaron heart, and this was punched out using the heart punch that's part of the bundle. And you're going to use your glue dots to adhere this. Now, if you have the stamp set, you're going to want to pull out the stamp that has the little heart and stamp directly onto the heart just to give it some depth. If you don't have the stamp set, that's okay. You can leave it blank. It works just the same. This is a way to jazz it up a little bit. So all I'm going to do is take my mint macaron and tap, tap, tap on top of it, only because this is a dual stamp. I just want to make sure that my punch out is the right way to align with the stamp, and I'm going to just stamp that heart over top. And that's just going to make that stamp a little bit darker. I don't know if you can see, but it just puts the pattern of the heart directly on there. Again, only if you've got the stamp set, it's a way to use it and make it look extra cute, but if you don't have it, that's okay too. And then you're going to go ahead and grab a glue dot. Now I'm going to use my scissors, maybe. once I find them, here we go. And I'm just going to curl up that glue dot just a little bit because I don't want it to stick over the edge of where we're putting it. And you'll see here in a minute what I mean. I want to put it on the little point of this heart. And so I've got it just on the point. And then I'm putting the point, just the point in that little glue dot here. Because I want this to kind of be like the little pocket pull that I'm pulling in and out of. Okay. And then this is where you get to use any of your stamps. So again, depending on who you're giving this card to, you can add a nice stamped greeting on here. For my sample, let's see what I used. For my sample, I used You Are Positively the Greatest. That came from the Cottage Rose stamp set. But again, there's all kinds. I just won this prize and got it this week. So I've got this Something Fancy. These look like they have good sayings in it as well. If you're making a birthday one, or if you're making a good to you, or here's one that just says, may the good you do come back to you. Or here's to beautiful beginnings and happily ever afters, if you want to turn it into a wedding card. So I think there's good sizes of stamps in there. For now, I'm just going to leave mine blank because the second one, I don't know what I'm going to use it for. So I'm going to go ahead and just mount that in there. And then this is where you're going to use your tear and tape on the back of your, on the back of this to mount it to your card. But again, in my case, I'm having to use steel, and that's okay. This is actually pretty strong too. I'm sure it'll last, but I just thought it depends on how often they open and close. Will depend, you know, the strength of the adhesive you should use. But I'm going to go ahead and just mount this center to that card. And that's okay that your little green thing sticks out, because that makes it extra a little cute on here, just to be able to see the green. Then inside your kit, I did remember to give you the mint macaron gingham strips. So I did have that bag out and was using it, but I guess I assumed I was using paper from the kit. So that was bad on me. So you can go ahead and just mount that to the envelope. And then again, stamp whatever you want to go here, depending on who you're gifting the card to or what it's for. You can add some extra embellishment. Okay. Then next, we are going to stamp on the pink or the petal pink cardstock that's in your kit. Again, if you don't have the stamp or you don't have petal pink, you can use Versamark ink instead, right? That'll make the image pop. And for this, we're using the hearts and the flowers that are inside the kit. So if you don't have the stamp set, not a big deal. You can just leave yours blank, or I don't know, in this card kit, did you guys have one of these?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if you don't have the heart, what you can do is use this as a stencil to make a heart directly on your page. So let me show you how to do that. Again, using your blending brush or even just a sponge, that'll work too. And you're going to ink, ideally starting off on your page. I didn't stamp off first to get all the ink off, but you're just going to hold this down, and this is a stencil that you're going to be using to add some ink to add that extra layer heart. And then you can just write your greeting to whoever it is you're giving this to right on top of that heart. So that's one way if you don't have the stamp set, because I have it off here so you can see where I went too dark with that. So that's why I kind of should have inked off first, but that's okay. I'm actually going to use that as my back because I'm going to stamp now to show you guys how to stamp that image. And then this little stencil, I'm going to get you guys to keep that and just put it aside because we're going to use it again on some other cards.
So that stencil was in the, it was in with
Other
the
card.
white. Yeah, with the other card, Trisha.
Yeah.
Oh, it is with the other card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are looking for it. It was in with the one with that has the rose gold.
Oh, okay. So it's in the one that's got the string. So if you guys are using that option, go dig out that heart template from there. Okay, thank you. Okay, so for this one, I'm actually going to layer the leaves first. So I'm just getting out my block and putting my leaves on. Now, I probably should use a bigger block, but I think most people have this one, which is block D. And we can make it fit on here. Uh-oh, what happened?
Nothing, it's okay.
Okay.
I thought I tore something, but I didn't.
Okay, okay. Okay, so I'm just inking in petal pink. I'm doing this all the same color. I'm not differentiating this in any way, and I'm just stamping in the center. Now, something I should use, because you guys all know that I have issues stamping on my plastic table, so I should be using my foam mat with my photopolymer stamps. And it's hiding here somewhere. So let's just hope that it works, because it's not in arm's reach. I was moving stuff around today. Oh, it didn't work at all. Boo, this is where if I was using a Stamparatus, it would be great.
Just
Then I
stack
could just-
something up. Don't you have a book or anything there, Trisha?
You know what? I do have a catalog. I do have a catalog. Okay. Except of course now it's going to be picky. Now I'm not going to be able to line it up again.
Turn it over.
No, because I just sponged the other side. That's okay. You know what? Good enough. And then we're going to grab the flowers and do the flowers over top. Now, if you had a couple of different shades, you could do that. Like I found using Calypso Coral as a darker shade. Looks really good on petal pink. So you could always do the leaves in that. But now I'm trying to line up the flowers on top just to get it the same look on here. Oh, yeah. See, I really messed that up. Somewhere I did something along the lines. So let's just look at the one that I did. And then I also just added in that family stamp set, it has like a little saying that says love. And then I just wrote my name. So if you've got that family set, you can do that. Otherwise, just handwrite it or print it or use some other stamps that you have. That's good enough. Okay, I guess I'm going to use this side since I really messed up that stamp side.
Yeah.
That's okay. Someone will love it, right? Okay, and then we're just going to put that in the center like so. And again, you can add more stamps if you wanted to add more little hearts, random hearts everywhere you can. But I thought that there was more than enough with the heart and then just putting the little love Trisha on there that I didn't need anything else on there. Because again, depending on what you wanted to write over top. But adding that little heart is like a fun little extra. So the next step is to add the little mint macaron heart just kind of right here. So I put it in probably about a half an inch or just over a half an inch from the right hand side of the card. And you want to make sure when you mount it, only do the bottom half of the heart because you don't want any stickiness to go over top of that. So basically just the bottom point and then about a half an inch in like so. And then you should have a piece of white, actually got a couple pieces of white left. So you've got a white banner, that's for the front. So we're going to leave that stitched banner to use on the very front. And then you've got one that's going to go over the heart. So again, depending on the stamp sets that you have, if you want to use this as a Valentine's Day, you can use Happy Valentine's Day that's on there. Or like I said, in your stamps, I'm sure you've got some other word that you could use. And that's something fancy. It has congratulations or it has happy birthday. There's lots there. I want to use that congratulations one again. So I'm just going to find where I'll put it. What else? Oh, you're in my thoughts. That's also a nice one because it's got hearts, like it's all caring, right? All of that goes. We're going to use congratulations. And for that, I just use basic black. Now I'm noticing that all the blacks and everything seem to be on low inventory or on back order. So I'm hoping that they're kind of repackaging them to be like the rest of the Stampin' Up! Ink pads. And I'm noticing that they're falling under a category called Inkcetera. So that's kind of intriguing. Okay, so I'm just using Memento Black ink. And we're stamping that kind of near the end, but not quite. When I say near the end, on the right-hand side. I'm just rocking that a little bit back and forth just to make sure it all gets on there, like so. We'll give that a few seconds to dry. Doesn't need a whole lot of time though. And then we're going to snip the end to give it its own little banner end. Okay. We're just going to give this a little snip, snip, snip. Now I didn't think, planning for a 2-hour card class, I did not factor in this bonus card I decided to do. Again, inspiration came out of nowhere to make this card. And I was like, okay, we got to make it happen. Something's telling me we need to make it. Okay. So there is your cute interactive card. Now, I guess the key is those making sure that it gets lined up so that your hearts match at the front. That's going to be the hardest part of this card. There we go. And then once you get to this point, you're going to go ahead and add your ribbon, making sure that it's straight at the back so that you can just tie a nice bow or not, depending on what you're going to do. Thinking it's going to be a knot, I may not have cut enough. This looks like a small piece of ribbon. That's okay. We don't like to tie bows, right, Lorette?
You are correct.
Except look at this, I can't even tie a knot. Still need extra fingers. Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to fuss with my little ribbon after. This not having nails thing is kind of hard. Okay. So although we've got that, the next piece, so once you get your ribbon kind of on there, you also have this little punch out. So what this punch out is those hearts that I showed you, the heart punches. It's with the heart punched out first, the regular heart, and then the scalloped punched right afterwards. Okay. And that's how I got the little tiny piece. So you guys, your heart should be punched out of the same piece as that stencil that we're using. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's pearlized ribbed. This is part of that fun 12 by 12 paper pack that's in the mini catalog that comes in balmy blue and I think it's garden green with the pearlized paper. It's cute. Now I ran out of that. I don't know if any of you guys got this one, but I punched out of the pearlized paper that's also in the main catalog. So again, it's kind of pearly. It's just fun looking. You're going to go ahead and just add that over top of your heart here, just to give it a little extra accent.
So, sorry, Tricia, you said that's from the 2023 April, or pardon me, January to April mini? paper?
The pearlized paper, this one, yeah. I know it's, you
But it's
don't actually
ribbed.
see it in the paper or in the catalog. It's very much overlooked.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it's called. Haven't seen that one.
That's okay. I'm gonna find it now because
Looks like Dolores went to look. Right, Dolores? Yep.
it is
she's
on
right.
page
No, you can't find it?
31.
Page 31.
Page 31.
And what's it called?
It is called the textured 12 by 12 shimmer paper. It's
Ah.
very hard to see. You can't tell what it is. I
Oh.
had no idea it was ribbed until I got it.
So are they all ribbed then, Trisha?
I believe they are. Yep, they are. It's in balmy blue, and you get 2 sheets of each. So it's 2 sheets of each, balmy blue and in the green.
Is that evening evergreen?
No, it looks like shaded spruce actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yep, it's shaded spruce and then white with the pearlized white. I know, I always overlooked it. And same with this pearlized paper, because we had this once with one of the minis and then it went away, but it came out in this annual catalog and I totally missed it. But this card looks much better with this, and I'm pretty sure you guys all got this one. It was just me because I had run out. Okay, that, and then you're gonna go ahead and glue your little white bubble frame. And now you guys got a little kind of envelope treat in your bag with some heart pieces. So if you don't have any heart pieces in your kit, you can just grab some from your little extra treat. But I just love those heart-shaped pearls. I think they're just so lovely. And we're just going to add 3 of them because, you know, they're like ... like someone's speaking. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I thought they worked. It was cute. Okay. And then again, depending on your greeting, you might leave it blank, but I'm going to put just wanted to say, because I think that that's a lovely stamp to have because you can use it with so many other stamps, right? You don't have to use it with Valentine's Day. Do you guys all give Valentine's Day cards to people?
Yep.
There's someone. Yeah.
Yep.
Is there any no's? Hey, Margaret. You
Hi.
made it. I know I felt like I needed at least one. So one of the cards I did do as a Valentine's Day card, but like I said, you guys can change it if you don't use it. Or if you give out lots of Valentine's Day cards, and you can change all of these into Valentine's Day cards if that works. Okay. And we're just going to pop some dimensionals. Oh, okay. So although I'm using dimensionals, you want to make sure that you don't overlap so that the dimensional goes into your cutout heart. So I need to just correct mine. These are pretty giving if you catch them right as soon as you put them down before you put too much pressure on them. But there. And just like that, our card is done. So Margaret, this, you can go back and catch this in the video on how to put this card together. We just did the bonus card first. So we'll be moving on to the next card here right away. And the next card is the red.
Very
card.
cute, Trisha.
Thanks. I definitely had fun creating it. I was just saying that something inspired me and I needed to do a little interactive card. because I find sometimes, you know what, you guys know that I like simple, right? I really like my simple cards. I'm not a big fun fold. I'm trying to expand my horizons a little bit. So I figured this was a good balance of both. And even like what you could do on the back, take this out, you could even probably cut out a picture and put a picture and glue it in behind in the pocket, or not even glue it, just tuck it in the pocket for whoever you're giving this to, so they have a picture to put on their fridge. As I'm saying this now, this is likely what I'm going to be doing for Kira's graduation. You'll probably see me making this card again. Okay, and then, so remember, on my sample here, where did my original sample go? On my bubble, I ended up putting a little word and I put yay. So where you punched out the heart, you can always use this paper as something to stamp on and cut out. This one I didn't have anything. I just ended up putting the bubble directly where the hearts were. So you can have words, or you can handwrite words, or stamp words and cut them out. Anything works. Okay, any questions on that card before we go on? Okay, and if you guys, if I end up taking the card away too soon, let me know so that I can slow down a little bit. Okay, next we're going to do the red card, which is, okay, I think I might be going out of order. I actually numbered all the cards in our group earlier. Let me make sure I'm following the same instructions for less confusion. Okay, you know what? While I'm looking at this, yes, card number 1. Do you guys have a pen and paper handy?
Yep.
'Cause we need to play a game for a prize. At least I think we do. I know we do, and it'll be a good prize. It's a sweetheart prize. I'm going to give away the birthday card organizer kit. Have you guys seen this?
Ooh.
Yes, it's pretty
No.
awesome. So it's a little card organizer book with all the different like paper cutouts and things that you can adhere directly on, along with some cards. Anyways, all the instructions are there. There's the cards that come in the kit so that you can tuck them in the organizer and be ready to give cards to whoever when they need it. So one lucky person is going to win that, but I need you guys to grab a pen and a paper for this particular activity. And you're also going to need your cell phone.
Oh, I think mine's gonna die.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Okay, you guys can take out all your stuff from this card, and then we're also going to have to cut. Oh, we took a whole hour to do that other card, you guys. I got to speed it up.
Not my paper.
Okay, you guys all got your little paper?
Yep.
Okay, we are playing What's on Your Phone. Okay. So you're going to give yourself 1 point if you sent someone a text in the last 2 hours. Have you done that?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 point. 1 point if you have the Facebook app on your phone.
Yep.
First of all, everyone has a phone, right? I should have checked in. Okay. 1 point if you have the Instagram app on your phone.
So did I miss? I heard Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, and if you sent someone a text in the last 2 hours. One
Devin, I
point.
would do that.
Okay. If you have more than 50 contacts in your phone, 1 point.
Hacker.
And if the background photo on your phone is a family member and not the beach like mine, if you've got a family member or photo as your background, give yourself 1 point.
Well, she was a family member.
Yes, that counts. Okay, now for 2 points, you've got the Pinterest app on your phone. Give yourself another 2 points if you took a selfie today.
No.
Come on, did someone take a selfie? Someone must have.
No.
No.
I didn't even do it. I was sitting in the hospital on the way out. I was like, I should take a picture, and then I never did. If you've got the TikTok app on your phone, give yourself 2 points.
No.
If you have an alarm set before 8 a.m.,
Yep.
2 points. And if you've got a grocery list in your notes, give yourself 2 points.
Always.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not the only one that uses notes for grocery lists, right? You guys
Oh,
all do?
I use it for everything.
I use notes all the time.
Excellent. I was even proud. I noticed Tom yesterday. He was going to Costco. He had his notepad out and he was dotting and undotting all the different things he needed to get. I was like, whoa, I was so impressed. Okay, 3 points. If you've got less than 50% battery on your phone.
Hang on, I gotta check. Oh, no, because mine's charging.
I do.
Hey, awesome. Although
I'm at
And I'm
Nine.
using it for my
on you right
videos, so I
away.
hope that I don't lose it.
Yeah, I'm at 22%.
Woo.
Plug her in.
Okay, give yourself another 3 points if you've got less than 10 unread emails.
No, hang on, gotta check.
You guys do not want to know my number.
Nope. I
How
have
many points?
88.
How many points for that one, Tricia?
3.
Okay.
Wow.
I always throw those unread ones in the garbage. 88, Sherry, really?
I haven't been on my phone. I haven't watched TV, haven't been on my phone. Ask Dolores. She knows my schedule this week. This week is just every day I've had at least 2 appointments.
Oh my
Appointments
gosh.
every day.
I just sit there and throw them all away. If they're not, if I don't want to read them, they're just garbage.
No,
Delete,
most of
delete,
mine
delete.
are- most of them are
Okay.
important.
3
I don't-
points if you
I-
have an
I-
iPhone.
Me, Margaret, I don't even read my emails at home except for once a week. True story.
Does her husband do everything?
Okay, touche. Got it.
Less Toms. The Toms are awesome. Okay, so that was 3 points if you have an iPhone.
Mhm.
If you had a family selfie in the last week, give yourself 3 points. And if you have a multicolor phone case, 3 points.
Woohoo.
Yeah, I know. mine's plain
Multicolor.
boring. Okay, now for the big ones, you guys.
Does-
4 points.
Does yellow count for a cell phone cover or no?
It has to be multicolor, more than one color.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, mine does.
Okay, so 4 points if you have less than 10% battery on your phone. Anyone there yet?
I was at 9.
If you've got a cracked screen, give yourself 4 points.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have a cell phone case, give yourself 4 points. That's
Oh,
brave.
Yeah, no kidding.
Take the risk, get the points. If you have no unread emails, give yourself 4 points.
Wow.
That'd be impressive.
That's me.
actually. Good.
Wow.
There's some organized people, not me. Me stored as a contact in your phone. Give yourself 4 points.
Hell yeah.
And then add up your points. We'll see who wins.
So Trisha, you're saying we have to have you in our cell phone?
Yeah.
Duh.
I have 33 points.
Wow. Maybe, yeah, right. Put your points in the chat and then that way it'll be easier for me to see. We won't miss anyone that way.
Chat.
16, 25. So far, 33 is winning.
Only 30.
14. Wow. Solid 20. Oh, that's good. This is fun. Oh, 30, Sherry. You're close with Jennifer. That was you with 33, right, Jennifer?
Yep.
27, Lorette. Holy cow. What about Dolores?
Just 10.
10.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
at least you had points. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that everyone? Could anyone beat 33?
No.
No.
Wow, congratulations, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Prizes for you. You're welcome. Okay, I'll remember afterwards. If I don't, you'll remind me next time you're here. My sticky notes are on the other side of the room. Okay, now let's get going. Promise you guys 9 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to be able to honor that, to be honest. So again, jump off if you have to, if we're not quite done, but the recording will be there for you after. Okay, so we're doing the Valentine's Day card. We're going to have to trim some of your paper. For the most part, it should all be there. You're going to go ahead and mount well, before you do, let's stamp this. So I stamped Happy Valentine's Day in Versamark and I used black embossing powder. You might not be able to see that, but I did. Now you can just use black ink. That'll work just the same, but I just thought I will also put on video how to do the embossing for those of you who might be doing this at home or doing this later. We want to make sure that you can kind of get the full experience from this. So again, you're using the Country Floral stamp set. Just literally right in front of me. And we're going to use the Happy Valentine's Day set. I think we're using like almost every single stamp set, almost not quite. You guys aren't going to use the florals, but I used them on the back of your little envelopes. So you can take a look at what that floral looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and just use Versamark, stamp, stamp, stamp. And I'm going to stamp in that bottom right corner. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some black embossing powder on it. Now, again, you guys know I'm working from my living room right now. My little containers are all downstairs, so we're just winging it with my big containers, which I'm actually running out of black embossing powder. Okay. Okay. So just like that, I've got black powder directly on my Versamark ink. Now I don't want to touch it because I want the power of magic to do its thing. I'm pulling out the heat tool and we're just going to watch this go. Whoops, I probably should have brushed this off. I probably should have used an embossing buddy to get some static off of this, but I don't think my paper was too oily because this seemed to stick directly to Versamark and nowhere else. So I think we're good. So I'm just giving it a heat until it's all shiny. I don't know if you can see that turn shiny with the light that's in here, but it is. It went from matte powder to shiny. Just like that, it's done. But again, if you don't got embossing powder or anything nearby, just stamp with your black ink. And you're going to go ahead and mount that directly to your card base. Like so. And then you're going to go and look for your pattern paper. So we're going to look for your pattern paper with the hearts that are in the pattern direction on a 4 1/4 piece, like the width of 4 1/4, as well as your stripes going up and down. So when you go to pull your pattern paper, you're just looking for it in that direction. The one like that. And this is the only one that we're using this paper on. So if you end up cutting it on a wrong piece, that's okay too. I only have them going 5.5 direction. You should have them going both ways. I'm trimming mine down though. And I actually only need now. I think I ended up doing a full piece, but you're covering it all. So you don't really need a full piece. You really just need about 1.25 inch width. You don't need a full length. So it's up to you. I did do a full length as part of my sample, which was 4.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. But I'm going to change that to be 3 3/4 inches by 1.25. Because I don't need to waste all that designer series paper since it's just going to be covered with the stripes anyways, right? So then by 3 3/4. And then the stripe paper, I'm going to trim that down to 3 3/4 squared. So this is going to be 3 3/4 this way and 3 3/4 this way. Now, I'm going to go ahead.
No, thanks, Rob.
I'm gonna
Trisha,
go-
sorry, I missed that part. What was that size, dimensions on that piece?
Yeah, it's 3 3/4 by 1.25
One
and
and
3 3/4 by 3 3/4.
Thank you.
No problem. And now for the stripe
Are you
piece.
punching this again? Are you punching this one out?
Good catch. I should be.
But
Yes, I
then
should.
don't you need the full sheet of the, because it
Yes, I do. My goodness, you should be teaching the class, Jennifer. Okay, there was a reason why.
no, I
had to
just
have it
noticed I
full.
was just trying to put all my pieces together and noticed that I think that goes all the way through.
Yeah, don't do as I do. Do as she says. Okay. Did you guys all cut already?
Yeah.
Good thing
Nope.
there's, you know what? Good thing there's 2 pieces. We're not
The
using
other one
this
goes the other
paper.
way.
We're not using this paper for anything else, so it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, just means you have one less card, but I know that you'll get creative and you'll do it somewhere else. So you do need to cut the heart paper to 4.5 by 3 3/4. 4.5 by 3 3/4. Except it doesn't go as far as 4 3/4 if you already cut your other one, but that's okay. We will make this work because we'll just cut the other one longer. I mean, shorter.
Sorry, I was just confused when I saw the Versa or the, what do you call that? Cello paper. I was
Yeah,
like,
the
this looks
vellum,
like
the
it's showing
vellum.
through. Yeah, vellum. Yeah.
The vellum. And again, this isn't because I should have pre-cut. Did I pre-cut this? I didn't pre-cut any of the stripe for you guys, did I?
No.
Yeah, and I should have. That's me for not sitting down and doing a double check before I got them all out the door. Was anyone able to savor their designer series paper? We're at 4 and I've got 4 1/4 and 3 3/4 because I had to use the one going the other direction. Are you guys all with me there?
4 1/4 now.
Well, the
Are we
top
all
shouldn't
good?
matter if we're going to put the whoops. It shouldn't matter if we're going to put the other one over top of it, should it?
Well, it does because you want it for in here. So there
Sorry.
should be a heart cut out. I didn't pre-cut, so I'm hoping you guys have your pieces. And if not, put this one aside and I'll put a note to cut some for you and send them to you.
But it should be okay because you need to leave the bottom. We only cut a little bit off the bottom. Like, I think I'm okay with it.
Okay. That is good.
It's 4 1/4. by 3 3/4. And what did you say?
I ended up getting mine to 4 1/4 because I
Okay.
had to use the other one. So yeah, if you've got 4 3/4, that's awesome.
4 1/4 by 3 3/4.
Yeah, that's what I
That
have
was what
too.
was left after I cut off 1 1/4 from the bottom. So yeah, we're okay.
Okay. So that's what we're working on. So just so that we're all on the same page, then we're at 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, mounted it. And now we're taking our 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 stripes and we're punching a heart directly in the center. Like so. Okay. And so what we're going to do then is you're going to pop these up on dimensionals. So 1 in each corner. And I'm just going to do a little extra. I'm going to put actually 6 just to make sure that I'm covered. I don't know. I tend to overuse my dimensionals.
You can never overuse dimensionals.
Well, true. Very true. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just line that up there. And now I'm going to take that vellum heart. Now, you're going to take note. Here's my sample. On one of the pattern's papers, there's these little hearts. So you're going to cut out one of these little hearts that's on the pattern paper, and that's going to cover where the adhesive goes. So you only want to put adhesive on the left-hand side, kind of near the bottom. You can use a glue dot or a little bit of seal. I found when I used my seal, though, I went a little too high. So you're just putting a little tiny bit of adhesive on there to hold it down. And just like we did with the other one, we're going to put this through the hole to mount this down like so. And so you can see where I put the adhesive. So I want to make sure that I cover that up with one of the hearts. And the hearts is on the back of the X's and O's. Now you're going to need the X's and O's lengthwise for one of the other cards. So I highly recommend using the X's and O's that's on the 4 1/4 direction. Like this, so that the hearts are actually going up and down like this. That way we're not wrecking the other paper that we need for the next card. And then you'll just take your paper snips and give that a cut around. And then you'll have all these hearts, so you can pre-cut them all and use them on other projects. It's not too Valentine's-y. I feel like, you know, this is a nice, if you had like a summer wedding to go to, this would be a nice kind of heart to use for that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and mount this, but again, I'm only going to mount it. I'm only going to put adhesive on the one side because I don't want it to overlap on the other. I need to cut myself a new heart because my bottom was cut out on that one. Good thing there's lots of hearts. Now remember, the trick to cutting with your scissors is moving the paper around, not your scissors. So just kind of keep your scissors going and just kind of move your paper within that. And that just makes the cutting process a little bit easier. Okay. So again, I'm going back just to put a little bit. In fact, it's going to be a whole lot easier if I just use a glue dot. Can you guys hear Tom brushing his teeth? Does that come through on there?
No.
I hope not. Oh, but before I do that, sorry, don't mount it yet. Don't mount it yet. You guys should have the little crumb cake heart cut out that's going to go around. Doesn't that look, it just finishes it off, right? With that scallop look around it. I love the heart cutouts with the scallop heart. I know they're a little more finicky to get put on, like to get adhesive on and then mount, but the look is worth it. It's the only time of year I actually really play with big hearts. You're just going to layer that over like so, and then you can go ahead and mount your flower heart to cover your adhesive. We also have this ribbon, so I was putting it in below, but you know what? We can go ahead and just mount it at the bottom of the popped up part. I'm going to put the ribbon, the adhesive directly on the ribbon. it'll actually stick to it just fine. Your piece should be long enough to kind of center it and have the ends go over, and then you can just trim off the ends so that they're nice and clean. Like so. And then the last step, well, no, not last step, second last step is to pull out your linen thread that's in your pack. You should have enough there to do a double bow. So you can just fold it directly in half and cut. And then like this. And just tie a bow. You can tie a knot if you want. That works too. But for this one, I did give you enough that you can do a whole bow. Of course, I'm just trying to find. Okay. Apparently I'm a bad bow tire. I have to do it all again. Don't any of you guys ever have to tie your bows twice? It's like, whoops, too far. Okay. Then you just pull the strings to get it to how you want it to look for you. And go ahead and use some glue dots and just put it directly in the center of your bow. So the trick here is to take your linen thread, put it directly to your glue dot. You don't have to touch it with your fingers or anything. Pull it off and it's there, and just center it. Although it's supposed to be there, but apparently mine didn't come off with it. It stayed behind. So we'll try that one more time. Push, pull, and then stick. And then you can just fluff it up there, and then you can trim the ribbons as needed to get them to similar size. And then you should also have some little sequences. Hopefully they didn't get away from you too far. You're gonna go ahead and just add them randomly to your card. Now, I hope, I don't know, is there 3 there in your guys' pack, or is there only 2?
2.
Okay.
Two.
So I put one up here and one over here. So just wherever you think that they kind of look nice. And then there's like an actual red and pink Valentine's Day card. That one was a little faster, took us a half an hour. Oh my gosh, I only have a half an hour to get through 2 more cards, ladies. But I think the next few should be pretty simple, assuming all the pieces are together in the cards for you. Okay, next card is the blue card. This was really tough for me. I don't remember the last time I actually made a blue card. But blue is part of this color combination. It's very pretty. And it works with all of these. I actually am thrilled. It's probably my favorite one out of all of them. Aside from the bonus card, that one doesn't count. So we'll leave that there and we'll let you guys pull out all the pieces for those of you who are ready to do the next card. Oh, as I dumped my stuff everywhere. Okay. Now, if you've got Stampin' Blends, pull out your sweet sorbet. It doesn't matter which one. I'm gonna use the, yeah, probably the light one. We'll see what that looks like. And so while we're just waiting for folks to get caught up, in your kit, there's a little tiny gold one. These are from the pastel sequences that are in the mini catalog. I just love these things. They go with so many. They're like two-tone, the two-tone pinks. That's what we used on this card here. And then these are blues, which would also work on here too, but I didn't want blue. I wanted red. See that? This was like a little red for our heart. So we're going to just color this with our red sweet sorbet. So it's just another technique, a reminder that these are alcohol markers. So they're very much like Sharpies in that you can color almost any surface. And so we're going to color that gold sequence red so that it blends nicely on our page. And we're just going to let that, they dry pretty quick because it is alcohol markers, but thought we could do that and let that dry and set until we need it. Does anyone still need this card on the screen?
Hang on, I wanted to do quick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So this is a fun fold for you guys. I did pre-score this for you already. This is a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of cardstock that we've scored at 2 3/4 on both sides. Okay. So now we need to go ahead and trim. So we're going to look for the blue designer series paper as part of your package. And you're just going to trim that in half. So now just before you cut it, we want to make sure that we're not cutting the one that's going this direction, because you guys, for the inside of the card, we're actually going to use the bikes that are going the 5 1/2-inch direction. So you want to make sure you use the one that's going 4 1/4 direction. Does that make sense? See, save this one for the inside of the card and use the other piece for this part of the card.
Oh, okay. It's going that direction.
Yeah, does that make sense? Apparently. I don't know
Okay, this
why,
one.
so I've got to cut mine from scraps, but you should just be able to cut yours directly in half, because it's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So if you cut yours directly in half, it should work. Mine, I need to cut down to 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So you guys should have 2 of those. And then you also need to find, let's go back to this one with the bikes. Let's go ahead and trim off the bikes. So you're just trimming the bikes without the flowers and without the hearts. So there's one of the rows should be sufficient for that. So you're just going to trim off. It might be right in the middle. It might be right at the bottom. It just depends how the pattern on your paper is going. So let's just trim those bikes off so that they're like this. We're going to save that for the inside of your card. And then you're left with the flower border. And that's what we're using for the front of the card. So all you're going to do is take that 5 1/2-inch piece and you're going to cut it in half at 2 3/4. And now you've got your 2 floral pieces for your card front. And then this is just extra left over for to use on other cards. Okay, so now we've got all these little pieces everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm going back to cut or to mount my card fronts. So the striped blue pieces, they're just going to go right on the front. Now, I don't think there's any pattern necessarily, but just take a look the direction that you put it, because if there is a pattern that might work better on one side, yeah, it does. So There's one direction works better than the other. So just make sure that it's aligned so that when you look at it, it's kind of got that symmetrical look to it. Like so. And then once you have those card fronts in, you can go ahead and mount the little flowers. And just to, again, lining up directly to the bottom of your card front, like so. There. Then you're just like this. And then we may as well go ahead and put the inside piece in. Now, before we do, what you're going to do is you're going to take this and align this directly to your scallop. Now, the scallops might not be perfectly straight, and that's okay. It's about making it straight on here. So you can go ahead and add your adhesive to the back of your bikes and then line them up on the scallops.
Where's the scallop from, Tricia?
This scallop is from the Scallop Contour set, which is the one that has all these frames in it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. And in fact, this is also where this frame came out of that we're using for the front of the card. It's one of those that's been tucked away. I haven't really used it since last spring. And it's like, yeah, I love scallops. Let's pull it out.
Yeah, and you forget about, what's there sometimes.
Now, because we're closing the doors, right, we're not leaving it open, you might need to trim off a sliver off the end just to make it fit so that your gates close. So you just like trim off like 1/16 of an inch, and that'll help you close that door. And again, just lining right up to the bottom. And if you're having a little hard time closing, again, just go back in and trim. We love our scissors. Okay. Is everyone caught up to there?
No,
Not quite.
not quite. Sorry.
That's okay.
My brain is not working today.
Mine doesn't seem to work every day. That's the reason why someone picked up a mug for me. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Diane. It's the one, it's part of the Wizard of Oz collection that says, I need a brain.
I thought it was Courage Diane got you.
Oh, Diane got me Courage, yeah. And then Sue got me, I don't know. I've got all the Wizard of Oz ones now. But Diane just picked up Big Heart and I Need a Brain. I cannot wait to use that one. I feel like, I don't know, these last 3 years have totally made my brain mush. It's like completely, it's like it, I don't know, it squished it. And that's okay. While you guys get caught up with that, I'm just going to give a little demo anyways, because I don't know if all of you guys have all of this stuff. So I thought I would just show you, because I pre-cut for you guys the word love. And I did that with the new dies that we have. They're so fabulous. In fact, they kind of remind me of Ray Dunn lettering without being Ray Dunn. They're the alphabet a la mode dies, so all of the alphabets. But because they're so thin, it's best to cut them out with adhesive sheets, which we did. So they're all peel and stick for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
Thank you.
But I wanted to show you because I love popping up these letters with foam adhesive sheets. So if you're someone who have the dies, I actually popped mine up using the foam sheets. So it's like another extra way to step up your card if you have one. So I just thought, well, I'll run a couple through and then you can see what that looks like. So while you guys are all getting caught up there, these are the foam adhesive sheets. They come in a pack of 4, I believe. No, 6, pack of 6. So you get lots. They're just like dimensional, except they're not pre-cut out. They're literally a whole square foam sheet. So I'm going to trim this down a little bit because it's not going to fit through the small cut and emboss machine. So I'm just going to snip that in half. Now you can cut these to any shape, any size. You can run them through. You can run them through with other dyes on them. But I'm going to run them through with the words love. So I'm going to pop mine up, but again, if it's just like another added way. So if you have them there, feel free to redo them. Love. So all I'm doing is lining them up on there, putting the layer through the cut machine. They don't have to be perfect necessarily, except they do need to all catch with my plates. I really should open my new pack of plates. I don't know why. I'm trying to get the most out of.
Somebody was saying when it's when it's really hard to go through, use the gray plate instead of the white one.
Yeah, it's
just a
not
little
that
bit
it's
too
hard.
big.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying for like if you're having troubles with the layers. Mine's not layer problem. Mine is just that I'm pushing one through a head faster than the other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's totally true because what's happened or what I noticed with one of my customers is that the plates were labeled wrong. So what my plate shows is layering number 1 as the white plate down, hers showed number 1 being the gray plate. So they were
Oh,
just
really?
labeled wrong. Yeah.
Wow.
Or else it's different thicknesses based on different versions of the cut and emboss machine. Does anyone have the blue one? The Bouquet blue? Did you
No,
notice
no.
if there was any differences in the shapes? Like in the plates, how they're numbered? Okay. So just like that, they cut through. I only ran it through once. I didn't even run it through twice. I only ran it through once. And they're all fabulous. They're all cutting out. They're all sticking directly to like they're pulling off nicely, not pulling off the sheets with it. I'm getting distracted here. Tom just made himself toast and oh, it's like I want toast now. Okay, so I'm pulling my love pieces back. And now what I'm going to do is just peel off the top layer. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to peel off the top layer. I'm leaving them all directly in. But I'm just peeling off the tops. And then I'm going to stick these. Now, I know I've already ran them through the adhesive sheets and that's fine. I'm going to leave my adhesive sheets on and just mount it over top. Like so. So again, that's just something if you wanted to up your cards, you can do that as a little add-on. And then I'm going to just punch out and peel and stick here. But before I do, because again, we all learn lessons as we make cards, we're going to actually add this last after we get our card closed. So if you've got a bone folder, you might want to just score this a little tighter just to kind of keep it closed. That just kind of helps. And what we're going to do is you're going to go ahead and we're going to mount this scallop piece down on our card. Now we're going to use adhesive, so you can go ahead and use some tear and tape, but we're only going to put it on the one side of your card because we don't want it to go over the center and glue the whole thing down, right? We just want half of it, like one part of it to go. So you just want to center this the best you can and then layer that down so that it opens like this. Okay. Again, making sure it's only on the left side. And you only do 1 or 2 strips because you don't want it to go over center. And if you do accidentally, that's okay. Just grab your adhesive eraser and erase it off, but try not to go on that side. Then I'm going to go ahead and mount my flowers. There's 2 ways that you could do this. So you can either mount your leaves to your flower from the front, like so. And in fact, I'll do this one in the front, and then you can see I did this one to the back. I like them kind of flaring out to take up some room, but I'll try it this way. And then that way you can see which you like best. So again, I'm just going to use my glue dots. I'm going to go ahead and just pick the leaf. So for this one, I'm picking the littler leaf, and then I'm going to do the other leaf, the larger one. Whoops. And then I'm going to just cover up at the bottom like this so that my heart ended up being like this. I'm going to add a dimensional, but again, pay attention to where you're adding that dimensional. You want to make sure the dimensional is on the right side, right? The right side, just there, because this is what's holding down the card. So I want to make sure that it's not going to stick to this part. And I want to make sure that this is going to come in enough to hold my card down so that I can open it up like this, but then be able to tuck it back in. Now that I have the heart down and I know where the heart's going to be, I'm going to go ahead and layer the love words all around it. And you can use your pokey tool to kind of help you with this. But I'm going to start actually on this side first. I'm going to line it all up to kind of be here. I'm going to do the E first, and then I'm going to do the O because I want to make sure that it's close enough to this where it's taking up some room, but I also want to make sure, see now I probably should have put it closer to the bottom. So now I'm kind of like butting up on these. You see how that is? I probably could have moved that a little bit more to the bottom. But then I'll just fill these in next to those to make sure that they're at the same level. That way it looks like it's symmetrical and it was all meant to be. So there's no wrong or right way. You just need to make sure that when you add the other letters that you kind of do it in a similar fashion. So again, just lining that up with the E under there like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my little sequins. Ideally with my scissors, but I'll use my fake nails or my lack of nails to add it. So then you can see the heart in that direction. Oops. I have the heart in the front or I have the heart in the back. So you can kind of pick which way you like better. That's interesting. It's not focusing down there. Okay, so that is card number 3. And we are at 10 to 9. So do you think we can do the last card in 10 minutes? Maybe. Are you guys all caught up with me up to here?
No,
This at least is a card you guys had everything all cut out for, right? Did I punch out your hearts? I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I didn't make you cut out those ones by hand.
Mine were punched.
Good. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to believe. This is a card with 0 stamping, people, unless you want to add a greeting to the inside. So at least we have it decorated somewhat. So it's there for you to just use your pen to write a greeting or whatever you need. Or you can add anything else, like add a stamp of your choice to that. While you guys are finishing that, I'm gonna slowly pull out the other pieces.
Trisha, you didn't use dimensionals for the heart to pop it, or did you?
Yes, I did. So just one. You want just one dimensional to the right of the
Yeah.
heart. Yeah, so that it leaves room to tuck under the scallop part for that fun closure.
Okay.
And I was kind of mad at myself because had I cut these out the same direction on the pieces, we could have done another card with the punch outs of it, but some of them I did up and down and some of them I did lengthwise, so it just didn't work. But that's the nice thing when you cut out letters from the alphabet is you can use the cutout, or you can use the negative of it, right? Multi uses. Now for this next card, you may want to get yourself a tissue paper or a cotton ball. Pardon me, just because the fingerprints and ink get on the foil and it's really shiny, so you might want to just polish it up. In fact, Tom, can I please bug you for a Kleenex?
You know what works really good too, Trisha, is little alcohol wipes.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I ended up getting a little bit of glue. I can't remember whose video I was watching, YouTube video, and they were saying if you have the foil and you get fingerprints or you get glue dots or any kind of glue, anything, alcohol wipes work wonderfully. And they
Oh, so you
really
know what? I
do.
bet you those little individual packets from Costco, like your eyeglass wipes, probably would work nice.
Yeah.
Because they're not too moist.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I should get Tom to add that to his Costco grocery list. I need some more of those. I haven't had those in a while.
There you go.
Yeah. The eye wipes. Okay. So while you guys are doing that, we're going to cut out. Oh, but then I didn't cut out this heart for you either, did I?
Yep.
The pink one?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yes, it's cut out.
good. Yay! At least you have some full cards to make there, Jennifer.
And the little one too.
Okay, good. Yay. Okay, and you have that cutout piece that I had you cut out earlier that has the flowers on the other side. We cut that to 1 1/4 inch. So you're gonna pull
Flower
that out of your
not got
stash. We probably only need 1 inch, but I said 1 1/4. So it's up to you if you want it as 1 or 1 1/4. I've already pre-cut this fun fold out for you. So this is just a fun, I don't even know what to call it. It's almost like a different gate card of some sort. It's just with 1 inch trimmed off the top. So this is your normal 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock, but with 1 inch cut off 1/2 of it. And that's just to give it a fun, just a different look to your card. So you've got this cardstock, which we're going to adhere into the center, and then you're just going to cut the X's and O paper, the other sheet that's left because we didn't touch that. And so you're going to give that a trim to 5 1/2 by 3 1/2 inches. Now, you probably could get away with it to be slightly smaller, but I feel like it's easier to mount this directly to the designer series paper than it is to cut the paper short. So I guess it depends on how sparing you want to be on your designer series paper. You could cut it a little bit shorter by 3 1/4 inches, but I'm just going to cut mine directly to size, which again is 3 1/4 inches by 5 1/2.
So is it 3 1/2 or 3 1/4?
It is 3 1/4. 3 1/4 by 5 1/2.
Okay.
So 3 1/4. And it should already be 5 1/2. Oh, look, because I guess that's the quarter that we needed. Oh no, it's the wrong side. Never mind. Never mind. I wasn't that smart. It just didn't match. I think that's what the problem was. Then once you have those cut, you can go ahead and mount those directly to your card. This is the gorgeous petal pink with the backgrounds. I love this with the hearts and X's and O's. Well, I guess they're just X's. The hearts are supposed to be the O's. Oh no, there's O's in there too. Now I tried, you guys. I really did try to get you guys some cookies for this class. Dear Connie offered to make me some X's and O's, but unfortunately, she got home from work the other day and her family had eaten all the cookies and half of the X's and O's. So sadly, I'll have to catch you another time with some cookies. I tried. And the thing is, her family rarely ever eats the cookies because she usually has so many stored in the freezer anyways. But of course, this time it didn't work that way.
At
But we
least it wasn't
had
her
her-
dog that ate them.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, we had it all planned. It was so cute. They were little square scallop cookies. And with the X's and O lines, and then she made little itty bitty hearts and circles to put as the X's and O's so you could play with your cookie.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh well. Okay, so now that we have that done, you're gonna go ahead and just mount your foil. I love this foil. This is part of the rose gold foils. You know how it comes in brushed and it comes just in a three different variations. This is kind of the shiny foil, which is awesome. And you're just gonna layer that at the top of that other fold. And then in your kit, you should have a little mint macaron piece. And this is where you're going to stamp with love that's found in the Country Floral. And you're going to stamp that with mint macaron. Pardon me, not mint macaron. Evening evergreen or soft succulent, whichever color you have, just because it's darker. So I'm using evening evergreen because it's right here. I mean, you could use a black as well, but I just figured green on green looks so much nicer. And so we're just going to stamp that in the center of that. And then you're going to go ahead and cut out the tail. I want to make a little banner tail with that. And if you've got a little punch that you can use, so be it. But I'm just going to use my little paper snips. And all I'm doing is snipping right in the center and then snipping from corner to corner to get that little tail that I want. And then all I'm going to do, I'm not even popping it up. I'm putting it down with seal. And that goes directly to the far right of our card, right over top of that gold foil, the rose gold foil. Love the rose gold. I don't know, one day it won't be on trend anymore and I'll be sad, but for now, I'm loving it. Okay, so then we've got all these pieces left. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and on the back of your pearlized textured heart, the scalloped heart, I'm going to just put some adhesive and then the green baker's twine. I'm going to just randomly kind of circle back and forth, like from side to side to give it a couple of loops, just for some extra texture behind the cards. And then I'm going to pop those up actually with dimensionals after. I'm just going to put one slightly overlapping the greenery just to help hold it down a bit. And again, I'm just going AWOL with the dimensionals. And then I'm going to go ahead and mount that to the front, the bottom right corner. Now, the only thing about going over top of my greenery is that you can't move it as easy. It's still flexible though. So you can just kind of pull it apart and have it how you want looking on your card, like so. And then you can go ahead and mount this. Now I'm just using my seal. It seems to work fine. You might want to use tear and tape or even your Tombow actually, just to help it stick directly to the ribbed paper. Just because it's not your normal paper for it to stick to, depending on the type of adhesive you have, it might fall off. So that's where I'm like, just make sure you use some strong adhesive or your white Tombow glue to hold that down. And then if they're not in your kits, you can use the little white hearts to add a little embellishment or two. And that's going to be your front. And I just, oh, I know, I don't have that little pink heart. You guys do though. So that little pink heart, you're just going to adhere a little bit on the top left. And you are going to pop it up with a dimensional underneath, just so that it's raised and just kind of overlapping. You don't even need adhesive here. You just need the little pop up underneath. But that's where you're going to add the heart. And then here's where you're going to add the little pearlized heart. So while you guys are getting up there, I'm going to open up the card and just show you. You can also decorate the inside of the card if you want. Of course, I did it in here. So in this one, I sponged, just like I showed you how we used it as a stencil, and then did a cutout heart. So I'm going to do that the same over here while we're waiting for everyone to kind of get caught up. So again, I'm just going to use the little template and some petal pink. Now this time I'm going to make sure that I stamp off first instead of starting on, because I do want it to be really soft, being that it's in the center of the card here. If you had Post-it notes or washi tape, you could hold this down just to help keep it a little sturdier. But that's just going to give you a nice soft look on the inside of the card. You're going to write over that and put your greeting. You could stamp another greeting on top, whatever fits the occasion, whatever you might want to do. But again, you can go back to your designer series paper and cut out any kind of heart, but I found that those hearts with the greenery work best. These hearts here. But I have a funny feeling we don't have enough. Oh yes, we had that other whole sheet. So you can go back and cut one out for the inside of your card. And then that's all the card, you guys. This is the last card, which means you're going to have all the designer series paper left over. That was part of your kit. So you can make other pretty things with it. And yeah, make sure you post them in the group. We'd love to see your cards when you're finished. Post them. And we're going to do another draw. So make sure you watch for a post for some other fun activity to give away another prize, just so that everyone has a chance. But otherwise, this is all the cards. So I'm going to press stop on the recording